All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. I am here with the EC Jackson. If you've seen any of the promotions throughout the day, you know that Jackson is a Christian author, and I'm just excited to have her on the channel so that because I know that we are full of Bible beauties and believers here on the channel. And I pray that she can just share her experience, her knowledge, share about her book in a way that empowers you to do your thing, to follow your passion, to do the gift that God has given you. And I hope our time together motivates you to go get you a copy of the book. Before I allow her to introduce herself further, I also just want to say there's going to be a giveaway, or there is a giveaway of the book. So if you could head to her website after the live stream so that you can be a part of the giveaway, that would be awesome. If you are watching the replay, thank y'all so much. And if, as we're talking, last thing, as we're talking, please put your questions in the chat if there's anything you want to know from our guest. With that being said, will you go ahead and just tell us what it is that you want to share about you, and then we'll get into our conversation.
Okay. I just want to say it's an honor, really, to do this. I've been writing now since, I guess I started writing 2013 after years of wanting to, never did. And it's just, to me, this is just really wonderful to sit down and talk to other women and just people in general to let them know what I guess, what I've gone through to get here, but also just to give them, to encourage them that never give up. Just never give up. If you feel like you're not moving, or you feel like you kind of fell backwards, just stop, pray, and keep going, because God is there. He's with you. He'll take you through.
Amen. Thank you. Like, already, I'm so excited, and my heart is just literally now, it is just suddenly overjoyed just by your presence and your words that you have shared. God has been reiterating this message of not giving up since for a couple of days now. So I thank you for that. I am an aspiring author, so that was one of the reasons that I was interested when about interviewing you. So thank you for coming on and having the conversation. So let's get into the book. Let's get into your work. You have a series, a hope series. What is the title of your newest book? Let the people know.
The Confident Hope.
Yes. And what were the titles of the first part of the book?
The very first book was A Gateway to Hope.
Mm.
Yeah, A Gateway to Hope. And then it's just kind of been hope all the way. I have one more book that's going to come out next year, and then we'll be through with the Hope series.
Love it. So we have Gateway to Hope. We're now at Confident Hope, and there was a book in between too. What was the last one?
It was A Gateway to Hope, A Living Hope, The Certain Hope, and now we're at The Confident Hope.
I love it. And so what is hope for you, and what is specifically now, since we're at the Confident Hope, what is Confident Hope?
It took me, I usually write a book a year. It took me 2 years to finish this book, and it's just, you have a lot of backstory, a lot of things going on in your personal life. It just took longer to get this one done. But the thing that kept me going and I kept thinking about was, against all hope, in hope, Abraham believed. And that was it for me. That's what I get from this book. Keep going. Just keep moving.
I love it. I'm just putting that in the chat. I love that. That was powerful. Against all hope, Abraham believed. You are absolutely right. As I'm typing things in the chat, I want to put your website up here, and I'll just put a banner of that real quick. Will you give it to me, please?
It's ecjacksonauthor.com.
All right, let me show this so everybody can head over and take advantage of the giveaway. You want to try to get a copy of this book, and while you're on her website, check out her other books. You can get caught up before her next book drops next year to wrap out this season of hope. I just have some more questions here. I posted on my YouTube or on my Instagram earlier, and people sent some questions as well. But I want to start with what do you want readers to take away from Confident Hope?
I guess the main thing for me is to, and I hate to keep saying it, but for this book, what really is in my heart is don't give up. Don't
Mm-hmm.
give up. Because once you get into the story, you'll see that the people there had numerous chances to just give up and go a different or a different route. And that's our life. I mean, that's how we live. Day by day, you're making choices. Either you're going to stay the course or you're going to take a detour. And I want people when they read this book to know, don't take a detour. But if you do, it's like your life is like a tapestry. So here you are, you're walking, walking, walking. You may veer off course a little way, but when you come to yourself, and you will, just come back, and God will take you where you are and get you back on that on the same path again. He does it every time. He doesn't fail.
Amen. I just like there, I have all these questions about your book, and we are going to get into them. But I know that this conversation was for me. I pray that other women are empowered by it, but already I know that God has sent this message for me. When you say that you want readers to take away the understanding of like not giving up no matter what, let me know, or let our listeners know how you have lived that out in your own life. I know you mentioned that you've been wanting to write for a really long time, but didn't get started until 2013. So already I can hear some of that process of not giving up. So again, the question is how have you lived out this theme of not giving up?
Just when you think you've made it or you've done something that you really feel proud of, I wrote my first play back in 1986. I'm 63 years old, so I started a long time ago, and I wrote my first play back then. And I thought, okay, I'm here. I'm gonna get started. I even went to we hired released really a full size theater. We had the girls come out. It was called Pajama Party. The story is called Pajama Party. I even wrote up the book, and now the book is called Pajama Party. The story. But we did everything, and I thought, okay, this is it. You're on your way. You're gonna write.
Yeah.
And I did that. We had the girls come out audition. We put it on in the theater. It just went great. And then, okay, I was maybe around 29, and I started writing again. Some almost 30 years after that, I started writing again. So all that downtime, I didn't do anything about my dream, and I don't want anybody to do what I did, because there was no reason for me to do that. I did it to myself. I don't want anybody else to do what I did. So in my book, all of my books are about not giving up, keep going, because God's got you. God, if God gave you a dream, He also gave you the plan, and He's going to bring it to fruition for you. You just stay the course. You walk in obedience. You listen to Him. You keep that relationship strong. God has it. Yes, He has it.
Thank you. Welcome. I see more ladies coming in. I'm tearing up. I'm so serious. I was on the phone with a friend. She's in the chat now, right before we came on. And I told you in our call, her name is Sunny, that I knew God was going to bring something out of this, like that He was going to speak to me regarding the situation. And He just is speaking to you right now. So thank you. And ladies, as you're coming in, thank you so much for being here. I'm here with E.C. Jackson. She's a Christian author. She just had her latest book, Confident Hope, released. There's a giveaway for it. So you want to head to her website so that you can get a free copy of try to get a free copy of Confident Hope. But if you don't get a free copy, that's okay, because you can purchase a copy of Confident Hope or any of the other books in the series, including Pajama Party, right? Her first book. I love it. And I love also that you are 63. Like, look at God. He, like you said, He's faithful. He's going to do it. If He has sent you, if He has put a desire in your heart, He is going to give you the desire of your heart. You just got to trust Him. And it may not be when you're 29 or 25, or He might just give you a glimpse of it when you're younger, only to bring it to full fruition later in life. But trust and believe that He's going to do it. We go through so many seasons where we're like, God, it's not happening right now. It's not happening for me. But trust. like EC Jackson said, trust that he's gonna do it and that he's working it out. I'm just so empowered by that. Ladies, I hope you are being empowered by that. And hearing you speak, I know that you're gonna be empowered by her book. And like, let's walk away with confident hope. All right, let me try to stay on the questions. You are just giving me so much joy in life right now. So I'm gonna try to get through all of these questions. This question is, what inspired this story? Or you can tell us what inspired the series. What inspired this story and these characters?
Um, in all of the books, the characters are, life doesn't come easy for them. And some of these people are, people are privileged, money, just everything. So you would think they wouldn't have the same problems that I may have, but we all do. And we all do. Life is life. It happens and it happens to us all. So, but I always like to write about a real slice on my website. It says a real slice of life. And that's what each of my books are. They're just a real slice out of the character's life. I went in there at a certain point and I pulled out the essence of who they are. I wanted to strip them of everything that they thought they were and show who they are, and then allow you to grow as they grow. And that was the whole thing. So at the end, I want you to take away the lesson that they learned.
I love it. There's something else on your website that I really like. There's the second part of, or the first part of a real slice of life. You say the right way. What is it? What is it exactly? I wrote it
Yeah,
down. Grabbed
the
it.
right way, a real slice of life. Yes.
Yes. And I am a lover of words. So just that play on words just really spoke to me the right way. Let me put that in the chat. And y'all head to her website. But I like that because you, of course, are a writer. So many people who watch my channel or follow me on Instagram are like, they want to write. We want to write. So when you say do life the right way, and be as you are a writer, what has that, I guess, what advice would you give to women who are aspiring to write?
If God gave you that joy to write, that gift to write, then there's something that He wants you to share with everybody. God gives everybody something to share with other people. He gives you a talent. And so if whatever God gives you, whatever He gives you, He wants to use it for His glory and of course for your good. But He wants to use it for the good of everybody that comes in contact with you. And so if you have a story in your heart, it needs to be on paper because people are going to be blessed by it. They need to read it. They need to hear it. And there's something in there. It's going to be a message in there for a multitude of people. And it's going to help them from this day to the next day, to the next day, to the next day, to the next day for a multitude of people. So I say, right, be a blessing to everyone else.
Yes. And y'all, if you watch me often, for those of you on, I say all the time, we were made for God by God, and you are speaking exactly to that. He's giving us a purpose to glorify his name, to glorify his kingdom, to be a blessing to others. So thank you for that advice. The next question is an extension of that question. How do you select the names of your characters?
I like old-fashioned names. And so most of my characters have old-fashioned names, nothing new, nothing fancy. And just to, I don't know, I just like old-fashioned names, like it's grounded, it has history behind it. And those are the names that I mostly use.
I love that. When you're writing, do you have a reader in mind? And if so, who's the ideal reader for this book, Confident Hope?
I hate to say that, but when I write a book that I will enjoy reading myself, something that I can take a lesson from. So my books are for people who want to read authentic, real stories about life and not something that's contrived or, as a Christian, I read some books and I think, okay, I like the story, but I don't get anything out of that. I mean, it was a nice story. I liked it, but it doesn't speak to my life, where I am and how I live. And so I want to write a book that not only glorifies God, but has a message in there for the person who reads it. And
That
so
is,
that's what my audience is: people who wants to read something that's going to add substance to their life.
yeah. It's like It, I haven't completed the book. I was able to read a little bit of it, and it's like an indirect sermon in a book. So if you're not someone who's like, who I know we have Bible beauties who follow me, you're like, Yasmin, you sound like you're preaching, you're doing too much. I can't handle all that. That's not my style, but I do enjoy reading. And you will get a message and a word through her work, through her book. So I strongly encourage you to get to her website, get the books, y'all, get the books. And I think that's great that you write for yourself, or like, because I'm similar even with my YouTube videos. And before, I would get caught up in how are other people are going to respond? What do other people want? What are they looking for? Whereas now, when I'm done with the editing, it's like, I enjoy this. I love this. I am captivated by this. And I think that's important. If you are watching, to do work that you are pleased with, that you are proud of, as opposed to trying to be a people pleaser or do what you think the world wants. No, God has made you and put a purpose in you. He's giving you everything you need. It's inside of you. So just pull that out, as opposed to looking outside of yourself for the answer. So I think it's great that you write stories that you will enjoy. Real Girl Food World says, I think that's realistic to do. Write something that you would read. I feel as though if it's good enough for you, someone else will be blessed by it. I agree. My mom raised us to, she always says, give people a gift, give people something that you would want. And like she would say that all the time, Christmas shopping for other people, birthday shopping. And I like keep that in my mind even now. And I think, writing your books are a gift to the kingdom. So giving the kingdom something that you would be, that you would want, that you would enjoy. That's beautiful. Let's go. I'm going to go back. You told us that you usually write a book a year, but this last book, Confident Hope, took you 2 years to write. What is your writing process?
It's really unorthodox in the extreme. I know the title of the book and I have the character's name. I have an idea where I think the story is going to go. I don't know anything else. I don't have a scene, nothing. So when I get my first sentence, I sit down and I put it in. And when I type in that first sentence, the story just flows. And if I ever get to a place where do I go from here? I've already, as you're writing, you think about a scene that you want to have maybe 3 weeks from that scene from that day. And so when I get it at a stump, I said, okay, now it's time to write the scene that's going to be maybe 3 weeks away. And I started writing that. And once I get that done, now I have to go back to the beginning and bring that story up to that scene. And that's how I do it.
I like it. That's awesome. So do you ever finish a manuscript of your book and have to go back and rearrange parts? Or do you, I mean, obviously you just said you don't necessarily write in chronological order, but you write, you might have a gap and then you write back up to that point. But do you ever finish and you're like, well, no, let me go back and actually move this scene to a chapter prior to?
No, I have never done that. But my editor, I don't do it. I have never done it. But my editor says, I really think that needs to be over there. And I say, you do? And she just, says that's what she thinks. Or she says, why do you have that in there at all? That is just distracting. And so I have two wonderful editors. And so it's like a process. I write, and then when I'm finished, I send it off. And then sometimes she sends it back and say, this last couple of books, The Certain Hope and The Confident Hope, for some reason, it took me longer than it took to do the first 3 books. I mean, I just gave them to her. She gave them back, and we just went back and forth like this. This one, she was like, okay, please do this over. And I think that the 2 books that I think these are my best books, but I think it's because I'm growing as I write. I'm learning more things about life. And, you would think at 63, you should know a lot by now, but no, we grow day by day by day. And so I had some challenges going on. My mother had a stroke. I mean, and she just found out she had 3 aneurysms. So much went on after I wrote the first, 3 books, that during the process now, it took me, I think I just grew because it took more of me to work. I worked during the day, and then I'm with my mom in the evenings, and then I had to write. And that's why it took the Confident Hope so long, because I had so many backstories going on. But the backstories really take you forward, and that's a good thing.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, I just love your words. The backstories really take you forward. That is wonderful. I'm gonna have to keep taking notes as you're speaking. You're dropping so many wonderful nuggets of wisdom. But you said something powerful in that. I pray that God brings it back to me because I wanted to expound upon something. But the next question is, and maybe you have already gotten into this, but if you could tell your younger writing self anything, what would it be? Maybe even going back to after you finished that published your play that you were able to produce. What would you tell your younger writing self? And yeah, what would you tell your younger writer self?
Don't let other people derail your purpose. Don't let them do it. I mean, you could have good friends, good family members, but sometimes you have to surround yourself by like-minded people and people who have desire to go somewhere. Like you want to go somewhere, you have a goal, something you want to accomplish. Then you have to surround yourself with like-minded people. That doesn't mean that you just forget about everybody, but it's like, okay, I give you the Bible as an example. Jesus taught the masses, and he spoke to the 120. He was closer to the 70, and then he was even closer to the 12, and then out of that 12 he was close to 3. I mean, you just have to kind of segment your life and learn that everybody's not going where you're going, and they don't need to be along for the ride. And that's just something that we need to know. I derailed my own. I did this to myself. I can't blame it on anybody else. I can't say that somebody derailed me. I did it. And so because I did it and I take ownership, now I can correct it. If somebody else did it to me, I'll never get it right. But I did it. So now I can do what I'm supposed to do to get me where I need to go. It's a good thing.
Thank you. That's good stuff. We have some more ladies in the chat. Hello, the fashion chase. I love you so much. Same to you, real girl food world. Janice Moreland says, your books are a series of hope. How ironic, since we are in a time of needing hope more than ever. So inspirational. Don't let anyone derail your purpose. Wow. Yes.
Thank
So speaking of that, Janice, great point. Again, if you're looking for Christmas gifts to send someone, or if you're looking for just a way to treat yourself, head to EC Jackson's website and get a copy of the books. Enter to win a free copy of the book. And because we are in a place of needing hope, and how beautiful does it sound to in winter, in the Advent season, to curl up with a good book and walk away with hope and inspiration, to walk away with confident hope. Yes, yes. She said, Janice also said, everybody doesn't need to be along for the ride. So true. God has given you something to do. Do that. Put God first. Next question is, what I know you have several books now, so you may have already like reached this point, but is what does literary success look like for you?
For me, is if someone reads my book and walk away with something that's going to add to their life. If that happens, if they can remember something that's in my book that's going to be a blessing to them for years and years to come, they can. I mean, that's good. That's what I want, because I have books that I think about and I go back and I say, yeah, that was really good. And if somebody can do that with my books, that's success for me. Yes.
Oh, that is powerful. What a pure-hearted response. That is just beautiful. Real Girl Food World, a fellow YouTuber. For anyone who's watching who loves YouTubers, does EC Jackson feel any pressure to create new stories and write new books? Does it get harder as you grow as a writer?
I think one of the problems is reading the reviews, because people say all kind of things in reviews, and I don't want to change what I'm doing. I mean, if they say something that's good that I can, that would cause me to grow, then I'm all for it. But if it's something that is going to change the way that my perspective, what I believe God has called me to do, I don't want that to happen. I want to stay the course that God has given me. And so after this series, I even know I know what the next book is going to be after I write the next book, the last book of the Hope series next year. Then after that, I think I'm going to start another series and go with something with some another theme. And I just no, I'm excited. I think I have a lot to do, and I'm just like, okay, Lord, just give me strength to get it done.
Yeah. So what I hear you saying is when we are like walking in our purpose, when we are living for Christ, there's no room for pressure from outside people. You're just doing what God told you to do and trusting what he's doing in and through your life. That's beautiful. It's no greater place to be. It's no like greater like that is peace. What you just said is the peaceful way to walk in purpose. I love it. What kind of research do you do, and how long do you spend researching before beginning a book?
And I don't spend any time researching at all because I don't know what the story is going to be about until I actually get into it. But once I get into it, then I said, okay, this is going someplace that I have no idea what I'm talking about. And then I have to go and find out. I have to do research to find out. I want to be credible. Let's say if I'm writing a scene, a hospital scene, then I don't want somebody who works in a hospital, a doctor, a nurse, or somebody say, what is she talking about? Because I don't know what I'm doing. So then I have to put in research. But I found out that there's a lot of things available. You can go to the library, even on internet. There's just a lot of information available that you can do research much easier now than you could years ago. So it depends on once I get into the book, that's when I start researching because now I have something to research. Before, I have no idea,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, thank you. Someone in the chat says, "Oh, exciting. Can't wait for the next book and next series." I know I keep saying this, but go get the book so that you can be all caught up on the series before she starts this new series. Um, our next question is, how many hours a day do you write?
Because I have a day job, I write 6 hours a day. In the evenings, I write, and then on weekends, I write 12 to 15 hours a day.
Wow, the commitment. Ladies, do you hear that? God has given you a purpose. And we can believe that God is going to do this thing in our lives. He's going to work it out. He's going to manifest it, going back to the earlier part of our conversation. And we can believe that all day. And it's great. And it's true because God is faithful. But faith without work is dead. You heard it from E.C. Jackson herself. She works during the day and still spends 6 hours writing in the evening. Hats off to you. So much respect, so much love. And wow. And then on the weekends, 12 to 15 hours. That is beautiful. And do you find that how do you feel about that time when you're writing?
I lose myself in my writing. I lose myself in the story. I actually love the story. I love it. And I can't stay. I mean, I know I have to do other things, so I do other things, but it's hard to tear myself away from the writing because it kind of consumes me. I get so involved in the story, and like I said, some of the story evolves as I write it, so I kind of want to see where it's going. I don't want to leave it. It's like a new friend.
That's exciting, and that makes us excited to read the books because, like, if you're getting so wrapped up in the story and excited to see where it's going, that makes me as a reader want to know, like, what is inside the pages of these books. Like, I want to know where the story went. Another comment, like, when you're writing, does time just fly by?
It does because like I said, I write 12 to 15 hours a day on weekends, so I get started like at 6, and then all of a sudden I realize, okay, it's 12, and I need to go and fix mom's lunch and all of that, and then all of a sudden, it's time for her dinner, and then it's time for me to say, okay, here's your snack, and it's time to say, okay, it's time to go to bed, and then I come back and write some more, and I just lose myself in it. And I forget sometimes there's a world outside of the one I'm creating. It's just weird.
That's beautiful. And again, that sounds like peace. It's just you and purpose and what God is doing through you. That is beautiful. What is your favorite? You've mentioned that literary success for you is someone reading your book and taking the message away. for the rest of their lives and having it impact them and do a work in them. Um, is there a book? What is that book for you? What is your childhood favorite book? Favorite childhood?
It's really weird. It was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I love that book. I loved it. It was it. But I think that book helped to open up like a fantasy world for me. And then
Mhm.
I just started creating. And even when I was young, I used to have all these little stories in my mind. And that I think that book actually started all of that for me. It was just I couldn't. I mean, all these crazy things in this book. I mean, a lion that talks, and I mean, it was just so much. And I thought, wow. And it made me. I think it sparked a creative urge in me. I think it did.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Do you believe in, so this kind of goes back, I don't know if I really want to ask this question, but I might. Um, it goes back to you saying the amount of time that you work, that you spend writing. When you're writing, are there moments, are there instances where you stop, um, where you are like just sitting there and it's like, well, what is next? What am I gonna do? And you alluded to jumping to a future scene, but like how are you spending those 12 hours writing?
I know. I mean, but the thing is, because you're actually making up something, it makes it easier to do. Now, if I couldn't do this while my day job, I mean, to sit there for 12, 15 hours, no, I can't do it. But it's fascinating for me because it's new. I don't know where it's going. And it sounds weird when you say it, but when I wrote my very first book, I was writing a scene. I was on chapter one. And then I wrote a scene about this man's family, James Copley. And all of a sudden I said, he has a brother. I didn't know he had a brother until I wrote it. And then I thought, okay, so who else is in his family? I know it sounds so weird, but that is actually the way that I work. The thoughts come to me as I put it down on paper because what makes sense? I mean, it's like I'm living, okay, I guess this is it. I'm actually living in this, I'm living it. I am actually living what I'm writing. And so therefore it's all a surprise to me. I face it as the character faces it.
Hmm. Good stuff. I'm going to respond to that in a second. And if you have questions for E.C. Jackson, make sure you put them in the book now, because that was our last question, but I want to address something that you said, or I like that you don't wait until you have it figured out. I think that is such an important lesson for a lot of women. I know for me personally, because I am a perfectionist. So it's like, well, I can't start the project, start the business, do the thing until I have figured out how it's all going to work out, how it's all going to end and work together. But what you've shared is that you get that first sentence and you just go. And if you have a gap in between, that's the gap and you go to the next thing. And I think that that is a powerful lesson for us on how to live life. Like, don't wait until it's figured out, until you know like where the investors are going to come from, or whatever it is that you are doing in your life as a woman, whatever your purpose involved. Just get started, just go. And God, if it's a writer, God will send you the rest of the words. He will send you the rest of the story. He will send you the rest of the opportunities and whatever it is that you need. So again, I just think that's beautiful. Yeah, I think that's great. Are there any other words of advice that you have for us as women, as aspiring writers, as people, as believers? And then I'm gonna ask the same questions about confident hope. What are your other thoughts about confident hope?
Okay. I guess I just want people to remember how special we are to God. I mean, we're special. And for years, I didn't see myself as being special. And once I found out, and I still don't know the depth of his love for me, but now that I'm understanding that God, Almighty God, chose me. He loves me. He's on my side. That gives you real power. That's where the power comes from.
Mhm.
Knowing that somebody is behind you who can do it all. And there's no limit to what he can do in your life. And I want people to understand that God values us. He does. And once you understand how much God values you, you begin to value yourself. And you begin to see that you are worth more than you ever thought you were, not because of any outside things, but because of the person God has called you to be. And that is powerful and it's powering. It makes you know that the sky is really the limit. If God put it in your heart, He can bring it to pass. I just want people to trust the God that's on the inside of them, to understand that He didn't bring you this far to leave you. If He brought you to the day, He will take you to tomorrow. And I just want people to understand.
Yes. Well, you definitely given me some understanding to add on to my knowledge and just heart for God. There is, you said there's power in knowing that God loves you. And what a powerful statement and truth that is. You know, my whole message or mission in my work is that we can conquer life with courageous by leveraging the courageous love of Jesus. So just like his love is so like unexplainable that if we just know that he loves us to the extent that our human minds can fathom it, then that is powerful. Imagine what we can do. We can conquer whatever comes our way. We can conquer doubt. We can conquer dreams that are taking longer than we expected. We can like overcome. And your story, your life journey, and the books that you have written are just testament to that. And it's beautiful. I know God is just well pleased with you and the work that you are doing. Just so grateful that I've had the opportunity to chit chat with you. Real Girl Food World says, "Speak to me, EC, because you are talking directly to so many of us." And then before we close out, what just one more time, what is it that you want us to know about Confident Hope and about your books in general?
I think I want people to know that I have to say it again, that God didn't bring you this far to leave you. So regardless of what's going on in your life right now, God will dust you off and put you back on the place that He wants you to be, because He has a purpose and a plan for all of us. Everyone, He has a purpose and plan. And it's up to us to say yes to that plan and go with Him wherever it is He wants us to go, because it's going to be good, because He loves us just that much. And I hope that's what comes through in the Confident Hope, because my person in the Confident Hope could have given up so many times. And I mean, I don't see why she didn't sometimes, but against all hope, and hope Abraham believed. And that's the message in the book. And I hope people get that message, and not only for when they read it, but take it with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, thank you. Even as you talk about your characters, you're talking about them as if they're real people. It's like she had so many chances where she couldn't give up and she didn't. So I can feel and hear your excitement behind these characters, and it's very I don't know, it just makes us excited to read and to know your work and share your work. Again, y'all, if you got some readers in your life, if you want to treat yourself to a good book, then The Confident Hope, as well as the other books in the series, are great gifts for the holiday season. Let me confirm, your website is www.ecjacksonarthur.com.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, and I want to let people know that they can download, if they subscribe to the website, they can download the free audiobook and ebook for The Certain Hope.
Oh wow, look at that. Look at that. And that is that the second book in the series?
That's the
Third.
third book in the series.
Got it. Oh my goodness, y'all. I mean, hello. You get a free book, and then you can still purchase the other books in the series to be all caught up. Yes, I need audio books. I'm not good about it because I love a hard copy. I love turning the
Yes.
pages, but with life being so busy, audio books are awesome. So thank you so much. What a beautiful gift for you to share. And then we have just again, what words would you give, words or advice, because you've given us some inspirational words, what advice, maybe like technical advice, even wherever God takes you with this response, what words of advice or inspiration or wisdom would you give aspiring writers, is the question we have in the chat.
I think it'd be good to go around other writers, especially the ones who want to mentor someone else who wants to help. I mean, there are a lot of writers out there that won't give you the time of day, okay? But then there are some seasoned writers who would take you under their wings. They would tell you about the good editors. You need to have good editors. You need to have a good formatter. If you want to, I self-publish, so I need editors. I need a good publisher. I need to have a good book designer. I mean, a cover designers. You have to have these people. There's some people out there. I hate to say it, that will kind of. I mean, it's just too much. It costs too much. But there are good people out there that will help you, and I mean, they would hold your hand and just walk you through the process. I found those people, and I would be more than happy to tell people. If anybody wants to know, like good editors, a good formatter, a good book designer, somebody who's not going to charge your arm and a leg, and we will really help you. I'd be more than happy to tell you. I would tell anybody who to go to and give some recommendations. The thing is to surround yourself with people who love authors and love the process.
That is awesome. Yes, I would love if you could share that information with me. What I'll do is I'll put it in the description box of the video so other women can have, or other writers can have access to that information. That would be such a gift for sure.
Okay.
And with that, our interview is all done. Unless there are some words that you want to share, you have the mic and the floor. We are just hanging on to all your words. So unless you have something else to say, we're going to close out our time together.
I just want to thank you. You've been so gracious and making this so easy for me. I mean, your enthusiasm just makes me want to go ahead and write that next book. I haven't started the other book yet, but after talking to you tonight, I will start tomorrow. That's going to be so good.
Glory to God. Glory to God. Thank you. You have been a gift to me too. This has just been a pleasure of mine. So thank you so much. And if there's anything that we can do to support and encourage the work that you are doing, your obedience to Christ, then let us know. And we will stay in touch.
Thank you so much.
All right, EC Jackson. Thank you. Thank you, ladies, for tuning in. Get to the website. Get your free copy of which book is it?
The free copy is
Uh-huh.
Search and Hope.
Search and Hope, and then purchase a copy of Confident Hope. Love y'all so much. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, EC Jackson.
Bye-bye. Thank you.